Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Larry Larrock, your presenter. In our top stories, search ongoing for missing man. Trinidad police investigate execution-style killing of 2 foreigners. At least 94 dead in migrant shipwreck of Sicily. And in sports, DFA suspends footballer. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. 220 taxi drivers from the Combined Taxi Association will be cordially dressed when the 2013-2014 cruise ship season opened later this month. This was made possible when Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited partnered with the association in sponsoring its members with uniforms. 320 t-shirts branded with the Twapito and Coca-Cola logo was donated at the cost of $10,000.
Combined Taxi members form an integral part of Dominica's tourism industry by ensuring that visitors to Dominica enjoy a unique sightseeing experience of the Nature Isle. We call on all members of Combined Taxi to wear their shirts with pride as they provide exceptional service to all visitors coming to our shows. We look forward to a mutually beneficial partnership between Combined Taxi and Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited.
President of the Combined Taxi Association, Mr. Kelly Williams, explained this partnership was made possible after much discussion with a number of private organizations. We wanted to promote a non-alcoholic product, he added.
When we go to the Bayfront come October 24th, we'll see a much more unified, how should I say it, uniformed, but not only uniformed, but quote-unquote tidy-looking taxi drivers. Of course, one of my functions is always to make sure that people look good. And tagging up with especially Twapito water, it's not only about wearing the shirt, but remember when you have the logo on, you have to carry yourself, your department, everything must be part of it because you are helping to carry the logo of Josephine Gabriel and Company. So we'd like people to take care of the shirts when you get it, and when you wear it, look like a gentleman. Try to look like our good friend, best dressed taxi driver for the year. That is Mr. Warren Seja. When he comes to the port, he's always well dressed, of course.
He thanked Josephine Gabriel and Company for partnering with the association and promised to manner the uniforms with distinction. In more news, in an effort to protect the public from food poisoning during the festivities, the Environmental Health Department has launched a consumer awareness program. Acting Chief Environmental Health Officer Mr. Sylvester St. Ville highlighted that this consumer awareness program is aimed at promoting the safe purchasing of food during the Creole and Independence seasons, one which the ministry has identified as contributing to the increased incidence of foodborne illness. October is also deemed Food Safety Awareness Month.
Creole in the Path, for example, is one of the examples of the areas where consumers consume a lot of traditional foods, crab and kalalu, and some of the things that we prepare in our local kitchens. Our concern stems from the possibility that practices during preparation exposure and sale of these foods could lead to foodborne illness. Foodborne illness can create a severe burden on the nation's health services and can impact negatively on the country's economy. Lost man hours, which results from illness, temporary replacement costs, especially to businesses who have to get substitutes to replace the workers who are ill, and healthcare costs have been estimated as being in the millions of dollars for any foodborne illness outbreak in Dominica.
A recent study conducted by the Health Information Unit revealed that foodborne illness exerts a somber burden on the nation's health system and economy. A small number of persons were studied, and the cost of treating foodborne illness for the 100 individuals involved in the study was over $1 million. The role the Environmental Health Department plays in relation to illness transmitted by food is primarily prevention, and as such, the department has planned a series of activities to promote safe purchasing of food.
The objective of these activities is to prevent the contraction of foodborne illness by informing consumers of some of the things to look for when purchasing food, especially processed foods, foods that are prepared and sold, and the consumer do not have any prerogative to treat or pre-cook or cook the food. The department expects that at the end of the national celebrations, there will be a decreased incidence of foodborne illness. We are partnering with the Pan American Health Organization to implement this program under PAHO's Biennium Work Program. This Biennium Work Program is assistance given by PAHO, both technical assistance provided by the Pan American Health Organization to implement activities which would promote health, and that's one of the activities that they're assisting us with.
The department will also conduct a simultaneous program with organizers and vendors of all events island-wide to ensure guidelines and standards are considered when offering food for sale to the public. Environmental health officers will be present at all activities conducting public health monitoring. In other stories, the Ministry of Education is now better equipped as it has received a significant donation of teaching materials valued at US $200,000 on Wednesday, October 2nd. This donation was made by Bless the Children Incorporated, an international non-profit organization based in the United States and dedicated to helping children worldwide, in collaboration with Tropical Shipping and the Ministry of Education.
In every occupation, tools are essential for getting a job well done, and this is no different for the teaching profession. It is even more important because the service offered in the teaching profession is geared at shaping the minds and lives of the nation's youth. Teaching and learning are greatly enhanced when resources are available and accessible to both students and teachers. These resources make learning fun and interactive for students, since it allows for more student participation and encourages students to take ownership of their learning.
The donors from Bless the Children Incorporated, Mr. John and Mrs. Brenda Scanelli, have, with the help of Tropical Shipping, shipped over 20 40-foot containers to various islands in the Caribbean. This is the 6th donation to Dominica. The ministry is currently in discussions with Ms. Scanelli to provide teacher training and professional development through distant learning seminars on how to utilize the resources in ways that support the goals of the Ministry of Education. Mrs. Scanelli says the donation is a timely resource for the Ministry of Education to achieve its goal of transforming mathematics education in schools locally.
The math manipulatives will help provide the sensory motor learning necessary for the pre-operational child to internalize the concepts of numeration and discover the relationships that exist within mathematical operations. Helping children to see the relevance of math to everyday life is critical to their success in the discipline. An interdisciplinary approach that assists children in understanding how the mysteries of life, like cell division, how a plant grows, how architecture is created, are all based on mathematical equations.
According to Mrs. Canelli, to help children succeed, teachers must revise their expectations of students with modern times while incorporating the real world into the educational process. It is a hope that these items will enhance the teaching and learning process and assist in attaining the goals identified in the September 2013 Ministry of Education's Education Matters magazine.
It is essential that children become self-directed learners and problem solvers, not repositories of facts that will be obsolete before they graduate high school. As the world shrinks, as time speeds up, so must our view of what 21st century classrooms look like for our children. So in that regard, John and I present to the Ministry of Education of the Commonwealth of Dominica the contents of a 40-foot container, including such items as math manipulatives, science and language arts teaching materials, teaching resources, overhead projectors and screens, language laboratories, art and music resources, and many other resources to potentially enhance the teaching and learning process for the children on Dominica.
The teaching materials will be distributed to both primary and secondary schools on the island. In more news, the police are conducting investigations into the disappearance of a Portsmouth man. 29-year-old Mitchell Mitch Joseph of Zikak, Portsmouth, was last seen on Monday, September 30th, 2013. According to Acting Police Public Relations Officer, Inspector Richmond Valentine, Mitchell left his mother's home at around 9:30 a.m. on Monday for his residence and has not been seen since. At the time of his disappearance, Mitchell was seen wearing a green and white t-shirt with short khaki pants. The police are soliciting the public's assistance in finding Joseph. Anyone with information into the disappearance of Mitchell Joseph is asked to call the police hintline on 1-800-4468 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477. In other stories, on October 2nd, the DAT, Dominica Association of Teachers, launched the contestants of its inaugural show, She's Royal. The event is a pageant which forms part of the celebration of the 20th observation of World Teachers Day. World Teachers Day has been inaugurated by the United Nations and is recognized annually on the 5th of October.
And every year, on the 5th, actually the date is really the 5th of October, but in Dominica we celebrate it on the first Friday in October for expediency purposes. So we celebrate World Teachers Day as DAT is a member of Education International, which is based in Brussels.
According to Mrs. Nicholas, there was a request to have a show of this nature. However, it had proved to be a very expensive venture. The DAT is part of the CUT, Caribbean Union of Teachers, which include countries from Bahamas to Suriname, and is expected to host the next CUT meeting in 2015. If this show is successful, she says, Dominica can propose to have a Miss CUT at their next executive meeting in December, giving the individual countries sufficient time to participate. The show will take place on the 13th of October at the Arak House of Culture and will consist of a surprise 6 rounds in which 7 contestants will partake. Miss Melinda Ulysses, who teaches French at the St. Mary's Primary, Miss Engzingna Daru, a teacher at the Pierre Charles Secondary School, Miss Andrea Andrew, a teacher at the Will Strathmore Stevens School, Miss Odessa Eli, representing the Convent High School, Miss Della Gachet, who teaches art and French at the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, Miss Melincia Henry, a teacher at the Convent Preparatory School, and Miss Nikisha Filbert, representing the Loda Primary School. Tickets for the show cost $30 in advance and $40 at the gate, and are on sale at the DAT's office, the respective schools, and at the Glam. In more news, 7 beautiful young ladies island-wide will on Thursday, October 24th compete for the title of Miss Wobduet 2013 at the Old Mill Cultural Center. The event is part of the celebration of Dominica's 35th anniversary of independence.
We start with Tassia Flosak from Atkinson. She represents the Eastern District of Dominica. Contestant number 1, Tassia Flosak. Contestant number 2 from Egliston, representing the Southwestern District, Jemima Jumcare. Contestant number 2, Jemima Jumcare from Egliston. Number 3 is Zephra Barron from the community of Fort Saint Jean. She's representing the South District this year. Zephra Barron of Fort Saint Jean, contestant number 3. Contestant number 4 is from Becas, representing the north of Dominica, Marissa Thomas from Becas, representing the north. Contestant number 5 is from Marigot. She's representing the Northeastern District of Dominica, Jamie Abraham. Jamie Abraham from the community of Marigot, representing the Northeastern District of Dominica. Next we have from Tubla, representing the Western District, Salina Joseph from Tubla, representing the Western District.
The 7th contestant is Leoma Prince from Grand Fort, representing the Southeastern District. All 7 districts in Dominica are represented by the contestants. Dominicans are urged to come out in large numbers to support the young ladies during the show. In more news, Miss Dominica, Miss Carival, and Miss Caribbean 2013, Leslasa Amos Shillingford, returned to Dominica when she landed at the Melvin Hall Airport at 8:20 p.m. on Wednesday, October 2nd, following a participation at the Miss World 2013 pageant held in Indonesia on Saturday, September 20th. There, a welcoming delegation from the Discover Dominica Authority and the Dominica Festivals Committee, headed by CEO Mr. Colin Piper, Events Director Ms. Natalie Clark, and Queen Show Committee Chairperson Ms. Ramuda Hyacinth, among others, greeted her. The 19-year-old Dominican beauty placed in the top 10 in the talent round and was featured during the show's live telecast on Saturday, September 28th. She is the first Dominican since 1978 to participate in the Miss World show. Upon her arrival, Miss Amos Shillingford is expected to concentrate on arenas Miss Dominica, paying special attention to a cause of holistic education and working on the development of her Dream Foundation, an organization that will raise awareness and funds to support early childhood education projects in Dominica. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.